What's up, Sonic Monkey fans? Welcome to the
What? We're here in the Planet of the Apes. Your number one planet.
I had to look up what episode this is. This is 83. What's up, Sonic movie fans, and welcome to episode 83 of the Sonic Movie Show, the only show that's about Sonic news, movie news, and Sonic movie news. My name is Ethan. With me, as per usual, is Devin.
Hey, look, it's a giant talking egg.
What is that from? Because I know that line.
I got it from the top10s.com. Sonic the Hedgehog, best Sonic Hedgehog quotes. Number 13.
I see that half of the quotes that you say are not actually from anything. There's the one about having a nice
Are you an
dick,
expert now?
I am. The other half, I like swear I know them, and then you tell me it's from something that I don't know. So whatever. I feel like
it's funny
look,
that
it's a giant talking
the
egg.
comments on this quote are, I'm going to go up to some fat kid and say this. I'm probably going to die. Ha ha ha. I love this quote. I'm going to start using it. And got scrambled and boiled by Sonic. No, I think it's Humpty Dumpty.
Okay.
I love the internet, man. This is like, there's his own world out there that we just don't know about.
In any case, on this week's episode of the Sonic Movie Show, we have zero news. Zero Sonic news. Zero movie news. I guess there is... Whatever, there's more Marvel shit. There's, movies.
Sega is going to be at
it's
E3,
whatever.
but we knew that basically.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They were gonna come around. It's interesting. Konami made a statement saying we're not coming, but we support them. We don't have anything to show. That's it. We don't have any news. So instead today we are going to do a little bit of a thought experiment. So you and I, Devin, have read lots of books, played lots of games, and most importantly, seen lots of movies where our characters go through a thought experiment. They sit down, they rack their brain over one of the most important lifelong questions that humanity has been asking. You and I are going to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Devin, our question today is, what would a Tales game look like?
That is definitely a question that's been asked since the dawn of time. Since humans have existed, when there was cavemen around a fire, they're grunting, but if you translated it, one of them would always ask, but what would your Tales game look like?
Exactly. And now, Sonic has been the star of all of the games, and Knuckles had a game with the Crocodile Man, and yes, Tails did get a game. Tails Sky Patrol, the most ACAB game of them all. But it's not really a Tails game, because it's mostly about throwing a ring around. That's not what Tails does.
He ain't throwing
is
rings. I don't know.
That's my question. What does Tails do? And if he has its own game, what do he do in that game? We need to start off by establishing platform and scope. Is this going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive AAA game that costs $300 million to make? Or is this a mobile game made by, Benkiwaki, a weird company we've never heard about that makes, games where you spin a slot machine to get a random naked girl and you paid $5 for that.
I mean,
you know what I mean? We need to decide our scope here.
That price, the mobile game I'm assuming is cheaper and I get a naked woman out of it, or I pay $5 million or whatever you said. It's
a $300 million
to make. I don't know. I mean, Tails I don't think is someone who would be in a game that involves nudity, so I think I want to scratch that off right away.
Okay, so we're getting rid of phones because nudity is just where the phones are.
Yes,
okay?
Yes, no mobile. Mobile equal porn. We don't want that. We don't want the kids on mobile.
Gotcha. Although there are plenty of Sonic games on mobile, but yeah.
No, but those ones somehow always lead to porn, at least in my experience.
Yeah. Okay. So we're ditching mobile. We are jumping into what you would consider a core gamer space. Core gaming.
The real gamers, they say.
The players. None of these people that spend a lot of money and help keep the industry from putting that shit in our games. None of those things.
Yeah, if you play Candy Crush, by the way, you're not a real gamer.
Oh my god, I hate.
We're joking, by the way. Half
of
this is a joke. You gotta remember that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people also, I feel like lots of young men like to throw that out there because they also read the report that there are more women gamers than men gamers. because of mobile. So therefore, if they get rid of mobile, then it's mostly about them again.
How dare I be inferior? Never.
Why are there so many minorities in my water park? It's like, you're the minority. It's just you. It's one of the only episodes of South Park I remember because it had a funny song. All right, so we're stepping up. So now, is this going to be a AAA game where we are like, this is our 2022 game? You know what I mean? We are Sega. This is our 2022 game. This is our Marvel's Avengers. This is our Demon Soul or our Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales. This is our Final Fantasy 16. This is, you know what I mean? Is this our game for this year, or is this a part of our plan? We have another big game. This is a part of it.
I mean,
what do you think Tales is? Because for me, I'm like, I'm halfway. I both want Tales to have his fucking moment, his comeuppance, which would then mean a fucking huge ass bombastic game. Maybe he's got like, you know, hot women with him and he's got a machine gun on the cover.
No nudity.
But at the same
we
time,
don't want that lead.
No nudity.
Yeah, Tails is
She's
for the
completely
kids.
clothed. You can't even tell there's a person there. That's how much clothing.
Wearing just a jacket, a big jacket.
Exactly. It's one of those like, oh, my son put on my coat. You know what I mean? And it is so big you can barely see him. That's what we want. No nudity. Tails. You could see in the thumbnail of the long play we watched of Sky Patrol, he's got his finger out.
He's like, no nudity. No
nudity. No. That's what I'm on the Sky Patrol for, to find the naked people. I'm on my own property. I don't care. You can't be naked. If I can see you, that means someone else can. I don't
Sir,
care
you're
if
in
I'm
the
flying.
sky. Who's in the sky?
You could close your windows.
I'm on my roof, sunbathing. Like, leave me alone.
You know, this game came out before drones. If they made a sequel to Sky Patrol, would he be put out of business?
Drones are hot, dude. Drones are hot in video games. We could bring back Sky Patrol and then call it Tails Drone Patrol.
So instead of a side-scrolling game where your Tails flying around throwing a ring or whatever, your Tails sitting at home or sitting at a U.S. military base in the CIA somewhere, and he's just at the sticks.
Yeah, you get different.
Ready to bomb a town he doesn't quite know what's there.
They're
He's
like,
just ready.
There's like a 18% chance there could be terrorists in that town. We don't want to take any risks. Bomb them. And that's the game. That's the whole entire game, is whether or not you have to choose that risk. And
you've seen the meme of the two Middle Eastern people being like, oh, I heard the next drone strike is going to be sent by a woman president this time. It's like, merely makes you feel like you're part of history. Replace it with, oh, I hear the next one's going to be by like a yellow fox man with two fucking tails.
Miles per hour.
The furries have, Boss Queen.
No, I know we don't want to do that, but I would like the idea of a Tails game where like it is just a risk simulator, in the sense of it's just you determining how much risk you're going to allow, and that will change the outcome of your ending. Like alternate endings to your game, based off how many drone strikes you drop. Because if you drop
like
too many,
football manager thing instead of actually.
But if you
soccer.
drop too many drone strikes, you risk getting the worst ending, which is crimes against humanity, war crimes.
Right.
But if you do just enough, maybe you can kill the Taliban. Maybe you can kill a Taliban and radicalize a lot of people to hate your country. But
which is Japan, because this is a Sega game.
But I don't think we want to do that. I think we can't have any violence. Like when I think of Tails, I think of more of a kid. Like I know Sonic's kid friendly, but Tails is like another level. Like it's for even the younger audiences. You know, exactly.
You can see a do you know the colors? Do you know the numbers type of game starring Tails more than Sonic, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, like the most like kind of hardcore Tails ever gets is the fact that he knows how to make shit. You know what I mean? Like he's an engineer, right? He's a smart boy. At the same time, he's a good boy. No nudity. You know, wagging my finger.
He's
again.
like, don't worry about girls. No math.
Just don't. Just don't. So now, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is going to not be the giant $300 million game Sega is making for 2022. But
I would love if it was, because like you said, Sonic has gotten the spotlight and honestly has failed in the spotlight. That part of me wants to see maybe Tails is really the hero that Sega needs.
Yep.
and it's been right in front of them the whole time. But I don't think we can go there yet. We got to see what this game gets in terms of revenue. Then maybe we could make a AAA Tales game in the future.
So this is going to be a quote-unquote double-A game that'll be designed for Switch, for a PS4 and Xbox One, but then it will be backwards compatible, or maybe we have PS5 Series X versions as well. But it's kind of not really like a... it's not made for those systems. So you
can
really
play
feel
it.
like
you can play it, but like, isn't going to be any better.
It's not like a game that was made for the system, right? So this is going to be one of those because we want it to make as many copies sold as possible. We just saw Switch's top 10 best-selling games, all made by Nintendo. No Sonic on there. All made by Nintendo. You know what I mean?
I guess
no
who's going to break that, though?
Forces.
Tails is going to break that.
Exactly. Tails is going to break that. Tails, in fact, is going to be number one. Tails, title unknown, is going to sell over 35 fucking million copies. All right, on Switch alone.
On Switch alone. Okay.
Let alone PlayStation and Xbox.
Okay.
Oh, and EA Origin exclusive on PC for a year. That's the only controversy this game will get, because it's such like a wholesome...
Not Epic Games, just EA Origin, just because.
Right. Their own games aren't even exclusive to them.
There's no such thing as bad publicity, man. Get that. People are going to buy it. People are going to buy EA Origin. They're going to be like, wow, this Tales game is amazing.
Plus, as we found out during this all like lawsuit stuff going on, all these court documents, the fact that Epic and Microsoft and Apple and blah, blah, blah need to like put forth documentation, we find out that Epic Games paid over $1 billion for timed exclusivity for PC games throughout 2019. EA Origin's going to give us some bling, for having Tales, whatever. Exclusive.
We put $100 million
Origin.
into making this game. If we get $500 million from EA, it's already a win.
Exactly. That's a lot of money, but it's a lot of money. I don't think it was that
it's
much.
hypothetical here. We always know our things will succeed in our hypotheticals.
Well, of course, obviously this is going to be a 10 out of 10 game. We didn't hypothesize it as a bad game, therefore
it's a solid 7, all right? We'll be honest.
All right. Exactly. Well, this saves us nothing, but we decided to not make it good.
We crunched through this real quick, but...
So we have our platforms and our general idea of like, this is brand recognition game. This isn't, let's shoot for the fences. Let's change the way people perceive our company, this genre, whatever the genre we're about to go in, Sonic the Hedgehog's characters and series. This is a brand recognition. Let's establish, this is Tails' Luigi's Mansion, right? Establish something for some of the other characters so you can kind of grow it a bit, right? That's what this is. Sell as many units as possible. First off, genre.
We were talking about the children earlier, saving the children, I think we should make it a children's game. It's going to be educational in some way. And here's another, this might be touchy, Ethan. This might be touchy, but it could work. It could work though. There's a lot of people, a lot of politicians out there. A lot of families out there blame the violence in video games for school shootings and whatnot, right?
Okay.
We make this game...
I don't know if I like where this is going.
Educational, but also uber anti-violence, uber... I think it's going to have to be religious, based on... Because that's the market we're going after. There's going to be like a touch of God in there. Just a touch, a schmitz. The Tails is like, yeah, thanks to the creator, I am very smart.
Tails is fantastic rabbi adventure.
Something like, but it's got to be Catholic.
Oh.
Vaguely Catholic. I didn't want to say Catholic out loud, but we don't have to say Catholic out loud, but everyone knows it's Catholic. You know what I mean?
Tails' baptism simulator.
I just think there's, in some way or form, it's got to be educational, and maybe in some other way, there's like a little... Because then, think about it. It's going to be all over Fox News. It's going to be all over Facebook.
Is that the audience we want?
That's going to sell. All right? That's going to sell.
Is it?
It's going to change the brand. You're talking about updating the brand. Sega's been suffering, man. Sega's about to be bought out, we think. What's going to change that?
We don't think that.
The religious folk.
Okay.
And it would change the message. Be like, wow, now here's a game. That I would support. There's no violence in that. There's no nudity. We made that clear. Tails says that right in the beginning of the game. He's like, there is no nudity in this. No violence.
No nudity. Okay.
I know it's a tough decision.
You said educational. What is the education he is providing? You can't say educational is a genre and then not give any other prompts. Like, is this? Because you said
didn't people
school
like that
shooting.
one...
Is this an anti-school shooting game?
No, that's too specific. I think,
or it's Doom maps of people's high schools, but Tails is going around stopping bullets in midair, saying no.
I think
no.
It's a coming of age story, but from a Catholic perspective. Like
you and I have not gone through this life. We don't have any experience to put this into.
I think it's him in high school, and he's getting picked on a little bit, and he starts seeking vengeance, and he realizes, no, that is not the way to do things. I'm going to go to church. I'm going to become enlightened. I'm going to become holy. And in the end, he will learn to love thy neighbor.
What's the gameplay? This is just I don't like this idea anymore. You need to make we need to figure out like the core gameplay first, and then have reasons for it.
Or we can do it if we're sticking more in the educational direction, less of the religious direction. Maybe I'm going too far. Maybe I'm going too far. But you know that game
way too far.
You know that game on DS? It was like that brain game.
Brain Age.
Tails.
The pseudoscience game.
Tail Age, but it's loosely religious.
So in Brain Age, everyone played it initially because of Sudoku was included, and there wasn't really many Sudoku games. But then there was also the quick math things pop up. 7 plus 3, what is it? 4 plus 8, what is it? 32 divided by 4, what is it? Like, stuff pops up like that, and you gotta type it as fast as possible. Then there was like what color is this? It was random, like, very easy shit. It was just like, how quick are you? That was like that whole game,
and you can get better over time, right? Wasn't there like a tracking thing where it was
it tracked you, but like it never really was like, there was never any proof that playing it made you smarter. It just meant that you kind of knew how to play the game.
Who cares though? We tell them it makes you smarter, they'll believe it. Smarter with God.
Okay, so I just said what Brain Age, like, the gameplay is for the most part. How is ours going to be any different? Tails' Brain Age. How is it going to be any different?
What if it's like
a religious educational voyage?
Kind of like what's it called? Full body there. What's it called?
Catherine's
body or whatever.
So it's the block.
But like I'm saying, how there's puzzles in between it, right?
Yeah, the block climbing.
We do more puzzles like Brain Age, but it's all about his religious journey.
So in that game, Vincent was having nightmares, and like he was gonna fall into hell if he didn't climb fast enough, which does happen if you lose. So how is this his journey?
Tails is. I think Tails has to be in some sort of predicament that kids would understand.
Wet dreams. This is a no-fap education game.
But then we're acknowledging that happens. You can't even acknowledge that happens. Like
that's awful.
Hey, look, listen. I didn't make the rules.
I mean, that's how it works.
It's how
they ignore it and they tell you, they demonize you for doing it.
Yeah. So I think if we make, like I said, if it's educational, but like it's educational puzzles, we have some math in there. Maybe we have some Bible verses in there that you get there. You're like, oh, what's Psalms 4:13? Do you remember? And then you have to help Tails remember.
Damn. It gives you like 4 options.
Yeah, and you're like,
and the fourth one is always like, always something that's like, I love to do drugs after school. It's like, it's never option 4. It's like option 4 is always
and if
something
you pick that,
like,
it starts the game completely over. It doesn't matter if you had to say,
oh my God.
It's brutal. It's just like, you can't even joke because they're teaching kids a lesson. Okay. There's consequences to doing drugs.
There is no excuses. There will be no like I don't know.
Or there's
one, no room
you get,
for that.
You get one error, but then you have to do like a whole other mini game repenting your sin.
You know how and actually you don't know because the new Animal Crossing game doesn't do this because it made kids cry. The president of Nintendo received letters about this feature and asked to remove it. In the old Animal Crossing games, because it's based off a clock, stuff happens. If you shut your game off without saving, it somehow knows. And when you turn the game back on, Mr. Rossetti, who's a mole, pops up and lectures you for like 5 minutes about why you can't do that. You need to always save. And he's like, he trails off. You know, and talks about other random things, but you're stuck having to listen to him. All the text boxes popping up, right? So much so that like that's a Smash Brothers like assist trophy blocks the screen with his giant like speech bubbles. We have to do something like that, right? Where like if you pick option 4, whatever it is, you know, what's Matthew, you know, blah blah blah, right? And you pick option 4, which is swimming with no pants on, duh. You pick that option, and the only one time, fucking Tails' dad or whatever. Although I think he's supposed to be an orphan in the series, which
that could be part of it. That could be part of his story. Is that he's an orphan in a new school or something, and he's getting picked on, and he wants to be violent, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go to God.
He wants to be violent.
He wants to fight back. Is what I'm saying, and then he realizes no. The best thing to do is treat others how you want to be treated.
And they won't treat you, though.
But they will in the
They'll
game.
still pick on you. Okay, yeah, that's right, because this is about warping young kids' minds into setting them up for disappointment and failure, and probably hating women.
That's why there's going to be like, we're talking about no nudity. There's going to be no women in this game.
Jeez. Not even giving you an option. There's no even chance. This is the way the world works now, buddy.
Yeah.
Also
no nude dudes as well, obviously, but we just don't want any women at all because we don't want to. Because of course, all the people who are going to be playing this are going to be boys.
So, Tails is going through. Are we really like lifting the block tower thing from Catherine?
I'm just saying, there's puzzles. There's not to be like the exact puzzle. Just like I like the idea of doing mind games, the mind game puzzles, the brain puzzles there, like that. Teach kids the alphabet, teach kids math, teach kid colors, but also there is
what is
the
our
religious
main
aspect
gameplay thing though? What's our main gameplay
besides the puzzles?
Yeah, because you want those to be interstitial.
Yeah.
With our main one, I mean, fucking make it Doom. But he's going around stopping violence.
Stopping violence.
Yeah.
So like Postal, but the opposite.
Well, like classic Doom. So it's got like the dun 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 dun, the heads bobbing as you walk. You know what I mean? It's got that awful like motion sickness sway.
Oh, you know what it might be?
You see two people starting to fight.
We can do different settings. Like one's at school, one's at the movie theater, the mall. Like he has these visions of Satan's armies pouring through these portals, and God gives him a crucifix, and he can shoot like lights or like some sort of like holy light at these demons. It's like but it's gonna be really simple, point and click,
single screen.
Yeah,
this is the shooting mini game in Oregon Trail.
It might honestly, yes, that's actually perfect. Oregon Trail,
honestly,
is perfect.
This is fucking Oregon Trail.
But with puzzles.
Kind of what we're doing. With puzzles. Those were good games, Oregon Trails. I played like the ones that you could play on Windows XP that had like footage of people talking to you. You could like, my mom bought them for some reason.
Either that or it's on rails, like a House of the Dead.
I actually kind of like, if this is for young kids, a single screen would be easier for them. You know what I mean? Plenty of ample time. Though for some reason in my mind, the things we're shooting are like Atari 2600, like
or we do kind of like a tower defense, but it's very basic, like kind of like Plants vs Zombies. There's 3 lanes, and you put different religious items out there to fight back Satan's hordes. But they're all different settings. He's at the mall. He's at school.
Okay,
so he's in his backyard.
Now though, the reason why Tails, miles per hour, Tails the fox, has gotten into this religious life is because he wanted to do violence and realized that's not the way. And our gameplay is violence. Like my Doom thing was like he would see people starting to fight and he would go up with the Bible and just read off a verse. That's what you do. He doesn't actually engage. He tries to help.
So I think there should be none of that.
Now we're shooting lasers.
Yeah, maybe we should.
But I do like the single
back.
screen point and click thing.
But Tails is also known for being an engineer and whatnot. So we have to kind of tie in a modernness to this.
He builds the Ark.
He builds the Ark. Oh my god.
School project.
Or maybe that's the end goal. That's his choice.
The actual flood happens.
And he has to save the kids who bullied him. Because he knows, love thy neighbor. He knows I must treat myself. I treat the others better.
Here is my galaxy brained now interpretation of the events. We open the game not with any like actual gameplay like flow or anything, just like the description about what happened up until this is he got bullied in public school. Oh, it was awful public school. You know, it's nice Catholic private school, right?
Oh, okay.
Obviously that's the impression that they would like to have of themselves, right? Bullied there, tries to go to violence. No. He finds the good book. Okay, he finds that good book. Now the game starts and he's in school, so he's going through his normal days. Blah blah blah. We're getting a little bit of the puzzles early. Okay, guys. Now, a month into his time at school, in the school year. Okay, guys, there's the big school project that everyone needs to do, about, blah, 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 at St., Euthydranian's Ultimate Church or whatever, right?
St. Joseph's. Or something.
Right. St. Sephiroth's, One-Winged Angel Church. Hold on. Yeah. And his idea is like, I'll remake the Ark. I'll remake Noah's Ark. So as we go through our story, he's tinkering with it. We have simple, Among Us with pulling the wires.
Oh my God.
Matching the colors. There's that basic level of engineering thing of the red wire goes to the red wire. Basic stuff I have, Operation, the board game, the pieces fit the perfect holes. I have the circuit board and, it's the basic.
He puts the nails
right?
in the wood boards or something.
Exactly, whatever, right? But he's smart. He needs to engineer a bit, so there's some electronics to it. Maybe it's got some of the really old cars where their headlights are actually inside and the whole thing opens up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually has eyelids to it. Whatever, maybe something like that. Well, whatever, right? That's his thing. You're doing interstitially as well as the puzzles while we play through the main game. And when he finishes, the actual flood happens, and this is time for him to truly put his faith and his trust in God's hands. And he needs to save the bullies, the people that bullied him. He actually has to go to the public school.
And if you choose the wrong, and this is the hardest question, it's A or B. Do you save the bullies or you let them stay at the school while the flood happens and you leave with your Ark? And if you pick option B, that you leave the kids there, the bullies there, you lose the game and you start all over again. And you have to, that's our Another version of our
and this is not going to be a trolley question either. There is no either or. It's just, do you do it or do you decide not to? You're not hurting anyone by helping them.
And I think we got to show it won't show anything actually. It'll just say text be you let them perish, and so will you in the depths of hell. Just something like that. Just it has to scare the kids. That's the only time it's scary. Is that hey, you let people die, and it's all your fault.
Now we restart.
Let's do this again.
Now there really isn't much after that final option either, so you kind of.
But you
really
don't know what happens. You don't know what happens. Maybe the ending is you go to they find some island or something that God made that the humans will repopulate the human. I like how we're at this point. Tails is not even Tails. It's just I mentioned a kid in school.
Okay, so that's our end goal, though.
No, you get to the
that's
island that is
where
Sonic is in the Sonic movie. That's how we tie it back.
Damn.
Because he was on an island, right? Or it looked like an island.
Yeah. No. Because he says, this is the island where I live. But in any case, this happens all at the end. We still need, regular stuff throughout the game. So we've established that this is a 90s Doom, basically mod. Where Tails goes up with the Bible to stop people from fighting. and it is the main gameplay for the most part, cut into and out to questions from teachers, study time, read that Bible, stuff like that. What is blah, 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 verse, right? Whatever, right? All those kinds of stuff.
I like the idea of there being the full New Testament and all that, like all 500 pages of it in the game. Has there ever been in a game? Has there been the entire Bible in a video game? Think about the selling point of that. Think of this something like the first ever Bible in a video game, full-fledged, where you actually can read it. You could sit there and read as long as you want. The game doesn't punish you.
The entirety of Dante's Inferno is in Frog Fractions 2 to read, but
has anyone done the Bible?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure,
but not Sega level.
Okay, so now if you do a perfect run of this game, like we said, there's multiple choices, and the fourth one is always like you restart because this is the obviously stupid answer. Don't be funny. But there's obviously a correct answer and there's two wrong ones. You're not really punished if you get the wrong ones.
Yeah.
But if you do a perfect run, at every scenario you do the exact perfect thing. Ultimate ending. Tails gets to write the New Testament. He is given direct word
from God.
He's given visions. He gets to write the the Neo Testament.
Ooh. And that will be the new religion of the Sonic world.
And his twin that he didn't know was real comes to Tails, and together they write the Matrix.
Shut up. That's
the Wachowski sisters. Tails was one of them the whole time.
No, I like that. I think we need to make sure we keep Sonic in there because we don't want to make it too crazy or too much of a turn. This is obviously a huge turn.
This is a huge turn.
But we don't want to.
No one's going to buy this, by the way. We're not selling 30 million copies on Switch
yes,
alone.
we will. If we put all the money in the advertising and less in the game, I'm saying we have a tour. We go on Fox News. We tell them, like, listen, you guys were complaining. There's too much violence in this video games. There's too much demons and Satan and all this. Guess what? You kill fucking Satan in this. Not okay. We don't kill Satan, but you repel Satan.
Exactly.
We're teaching kids the correct way of life. That's we make sure we make that explicit. Obviously, we're bullshitting them.
Right. Because it's not in there.
We're grifting them. Is what we're doing.
Now, when Tucker Carlson or one of the blonde bitches asks you, right, but you need to buy a video game console where you can get all the things that you said that this game is not. How do you prevent children from playing Super Mario where he stomps and kills things? What's your answer then? Maybe instead what we need to put this on is the Sega Super Remastered, which is now a religious-only console.
For people who don't know what that is, you got to...
No, they know.
They know?
They
okay.
know.
Okay.
They're super fans.
You can look it up.
The Sega Super Remastered has a handheld console that is only religious games. This is now for that. We've scrapped development on our PlayStation 4 and our Nintendo Switch and Xbox versions. We've scrapped development. We started over for our brand new system, the Sega Super Remastered handheld.
Oh, handheld now.
Handheld.
For kids.
It's kids. Right, exactly. And it's like, have you seen one of those like tablets that are meant for kids where like the actual thing is a giant colorful thing that can be thrown around?
Shit, dude, I want to play it when I see it. They're so colorful,
exactly.
So fun looking.
I'm walking through a grocery store and I see a kid with that in the shopping cart. I feel like just grabbing it. You know what I mean?
Stealing it.
What are you playing?
Stealing it and running to my car and driving as fast as I can home. Yes, I think about that all the time.
You watching Dora the Explorer? You remember they made a Dora movie? That just came and went. I knew we weren't going to watch it, but like I feel like that just like literally disappeared.
Holy shit. That's like
That
feels like a whole other
movie.
era, dude. I know it's pre-COVID.
But that was pre-COVID, but it wasn't pre-COVID, you know.
It felt like it. Everything feels like pre-COVID at this point, but...
They made 2 Jumanji movies within the past decade?
Yes.
They made 2 of those. So we put it on this brand new device. All right. Now, The Sega Super Remaster, I forgot how fucking much we said that cost. It was a lot of money. It was like $8,000 or something. But like, you really want it, right? That was our reason.
Because it could
you
port
really wanted
everything. Anything you can think of,
Everything.
it plays it.
Even the things that are like, you can't really emulate well, like the PS3. Somehow we did it. We're not telling you, right?
Fucking magic.
Now this machine...
It's God. Sorry.
This machine is meant to be a cheaper alternative and meant for young kids. Therefore, it doesn't need all the super remaster bells and whistles. This machine is only $3,000.
It doesn't need the 12 disc drives, the 10 USB ports.
That's right. But the system is only $3,000. But because this is meant for religious teachings, your church can get a thing and it can be financed, just like how schools buy a bunch of computers. Churches can buy a bunch of Sega Super Remastered handhelds.
Oh, it'll be being good for like when like some kids are restless. It happens, right? Kids are restless, especially during mass. They might start crying or get fidgety or whatnot. You give them some headphones. You give them this game on the portable version,
mm-hmm.
and they're like, you know what? They don't need to listen to this right now. They're not old enough yet. But I know that they're still learning what I'm learning.
We need to get them used to being here. You know what I mean? And being in this environment. So now my ultimate goal, Devin, by the way, is to make so much fucking money off specifically the church system.
Oh my God.
You know what I
yes.
mean? And then we can turn that money and invest that into poor communities. Basically, we get to make them pay taxes.
Genius. We grift them so hard that we do the right thing.
Exactly. They somehow get to avoid paying taxes. They somehow get to have so much influences in our government. It should be separate from church and state. We're gonna fucking tax them.
So in our other
by providing
episode
them
where we made our new council, we talked about how it went from, wow, this council is gonna be so cool, to like, here's how you dominate the world. I think part of that process has to be also infiltrating the church.
Absolutely. But we're doing this for a good reason. We are investing in poor communities. We're taxing the fucking church.
Finally.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to make a commercial. I forgot his Twitter name. It was Pontifex the Pope. The joke is gone. The Pope is going to be in there. He's going to be like, my boy Tails, he's going through a rough life. But together with God, it can be a good life.
Why is he Southern?
I don't know. I don't know what he sounds
He's from,
I don't think
Italian.
he speaks English. Yeah, he doesn't speak English.
He's definitely Italian, at least. Well, you're no partner. I'm the Pope, you see.
And now I didn't jump down into vocabulary from whatever accent I was trying to use.
That's funny. Okay, so Tails is just going to be like the mascot, basically, for this game. He is the driver in this car we're trying to ship out.
Right. Now, I understand you're trying to go big brain, ultra plan. We still need to name the game. Maybe we should stop this right now and actually name this game. Tails needs to be in it. I like the idea of Tails possessive thing, like Tails Sky Patrol. I think it's perfect.
Tails God Patrol.
It doesn't make any sense.
Because he's patrolling for God. He goes around telling people not to fight. He's patrolling.
Right, but Sky Patrol is because he's patrolling the sky.
And he's patrolling his community, making sure that they're not going to go to hell.
Tails Church Patrol.
Church Patrol.
Paw Patrol. He's got paws.
Yeah,
He's a fox.
Tails. I mean,
no nudity.
Tails Church Patrol does sound pretty good. It's pretty upfront what it is.
Tails No Fat Patrol.
Once again, it can't even reference sex. That doesn't exist.
Right. Exactly. Tails Abstinence Patrol. Y'all ain't done any shit, right? No, we're just standing here. Okay.
Okay.
That's all you do. You can't even hold hands. Not until you're 26.
Oh, that could be one level where there's prom at a school or something, and he just goes there and he just is an asshole telling people not.
He's a snitch.
That'd be like the worst part is he sees someone kiss. but it just shows like a silhouette of them because we don't want to show any like even a hint of lips or tongue contacting each other.
Right.
And obviously, there's no woman in this game, so it's just barely. You're like, maybe it's a silhouette of a woman. I don't know.
Can't tell. Tails Church Patrol. Okay. This is working out for me. Tails Church Patrol.
Rise of Sonic Island.
No. That's the sequel.
Oh, okay. Because I'm saying I think the ending ties back into the movie because we want to make sure the Sonic fans are happy.
I also love the idea of this handheld being like a Game Boy Advance or something that is, 346 by 182 resolution, something like low like that, right? And we like literally put a clip from the movie super compressed that plays at the end on this resolution.
We didn't even get the rights really to it. I know we're Sega and like we should have the rights to it, but we were let's not do the rights thing. We'll just say we pulled it straight from YouTube. Like we got real lazy. We didn't even ask like Warner Brothers or whoever made this. Who made the movie again? Not Warner Brothers.
Paramount.
We don't even ask Paramount for it. We're like, we got it, dog. Don't worry. We just pulled the 1080p video off of YouTube.
That does happen. That does happen many times in games. Okami for Wii, their box art, whenever they went to actually like print it out, they pulled it off IGN.com. The first print run of that game had the IGN watermark in the bottom right corner on it. They pulled it. Nintendo, some of the times when they port Super Mario Brothers, it's using an emulator that Nintendo did not make. It's like off of like websites. They like literally pulled the version of the game on Wii that you could buy digitally is off of a website. They pulled the ROM off a website. People found in the code.
Dirty dogs.
So like we're like, hey, we can do it. It's our movie. I don't care if Amy Rose plays on YouTube or whatever. If that's her illegal upload of our movie, it's our movie. I don't care if it's like running at 22 frames per second for some reason.
And it's so compressed, it's like so blurry.
Right. Everything is up a half a decimal.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's just the one scene where you just see the island and Sonic does the loop and you hear what's his name being like, this is the island where I grew up. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog now. That's at the end of the game. If you actually are man enough to not pick option 4 and to save those kids. The kids that
relentlessly bully you throughout the game.
And when you show up to really like hedge home, are these kids lost or are they still worth saving? They're going to have a heroin needle in one arm. They're going to be like,
no drugs.
Got a tattoo. There's going to be a tattoo that says like 666 or like Tony Hawk is on him because apparently he's evil or something. You know what I mean?
Or I'm drinking a Monster Energy drink, something.
Yeah. Exactly. So it really hits home like, do you want to save these kids? Yes or no?
And even during that, when they're asking that question, I want Tails to be looking at the camera, like with tears in his eyes.
I don't know what to do.
So are we playing as Tails, or are we playing like someone talking to Tails?
Because educational games are like that. You do talk to Putt Putt. You do talk to Pajama Sam. You
talk to your Zoombinis.
Fucking loved Pajama Sam. All those games are on Steam.
I need to get Putt Putt.
That was like
I need to go back.
Ago.
I haven't played the Putt Putt game or the games in like
Freddy Fish?
Probably 20 years.
Yeah, but you remember fucking Freddy Fish, Pajama Sam, Putt Putt. All by one company.
Goats.
Loved them.
Goats.
Loved them. I mean, they were adventure games. That's what
everyone talks
it was fun
about.
To explore.
Freaking Nintendo and fuck them.
Pajama fucking Sam.
Yeah. Now that is gaming.
He's like Bart Simpson, where like the hair is the same color as his head, and there's no definitive end where one starts. But it was floppy, It's Pajama Sam. Now we have this new console, but we have one game. Is our plan really just because? Let's be honest, we're like making these churches spend so much money on our system. And the game we throw in the game or whatever. How like some grandparents kind of treat the Wii as just Wii Sports. You know what I mean? Like in their head, that's what it is, maybe we don't necessarily need to like have a launch lineup. We just have the one game and like, hey, it's kind of like, hey, we're a software company, we're you want to buy this? We're making this new product.
Are we a
called
software company?
PowerPoint?
We have a console that's worth like $10,000 and has like every gadget attached to it. I think.
Hey, man.
And runs on solar panels or something. I don't even remember what half the logistics were.
Now, there is a precedent. The 3DO, which I forgot what it cost when it came out. I think it was $800 or something. Cost like whatever it was like $10,000 or whatever. It was like multiple thousands of dollars in today's money back then. So it's not like this is crazy. It's not like going over $500 is like no one's ever done this before. Bitches have done it. They've all failed. But this is a hypothetical where we win. Sega's going to come back. I mean, Sega already came back in the fall.
In our reality.
In the actual reality. Sega already came back in the fall and released the Sega Super Remastered for $8,000. Now we're coming around the bend.
They purchased GameStop at some point in this time frame.
Yep. They caused that whole kerfuffle in January. That was us. That was Sega. Whoops. Now we're making the Sega Super Remastered handheld. You know what I mean? And it's essentially a Game Gear, but it costs $3,000, and it comes with this game. If you buy in bulk,
can it have a crucifix on the back of it?
So there are 3 colors. Obviously, you always have to have 3 colors. There is black/gray because it's not really black. There is cobalt blue, and there is
there's always a goddamn
cobalt blue. Yeah, always. Every Nintendo console had a cobalt blue one. That was my Game Boy Advance SP. The losers bought the blue DS. You always had to get a silver DS. And then we have to have one that is like an ivory color, and it has a crucifix on the back. You know what I mean? And when I say crucifix, obviously it needs to have Jesus on there in order for it to be a crucifix.
And then there's Tails praying to the right.
Oh. Beautiful. Okay, I changed my mind. The crucifix is on the back of every console.
Hell yeah.
Because guess on every single one, regardless of color. So there's charcoal gray, cobalt blue, and pink ivory or whatever, right? Those are the 3. Crucifix is on the back of all of them, off to the side. Because what do handheld consoles use to play games? Cartridges. We have a clear window where you can see the front label of the cartridge. So the cartridge has Tails praying in the direction of the sticker of the crucifix. Every game we release will have our main character praying
towards the cross.
The only difference is that when we make a Black Panther one, he'll be doing the Wakanda.
Oh no, that's so fucked up. No. Well, I like that. I like all the people who probably tuned in this episode being like, wow, they're actually going to make a legitimate Tales game. Half episodes are this shit, or like legitimate, like what would a Tales... Maybe eventually we'll do okay, this is really what a Tales game would look like. But this is our hypothetical. We can do whatever we want.
You know, initially, my idea was we actually make a Tales game, and then you decide we're making it about religious learnings, which is fine.
But we've added more. We've added more to our Super Sega Remaster.
Exactly. We've added to Sega's portfolio. Our Illuminati plan.
Our world plan. Yeah, world domination plan.
But it's one of these things where it's like, yeah, but they helped saved impoverished communities and actually made them thrive and succeed. And now we've made, future citizens, giving them the tools and actually forcing the tools on them. Now, I'm not going to go any further because I'm going to end up saying something I'm going to regret later. But we're helping communities in a not world dominating way. That's what I actually meant to do, and it kind of turned into we're relocating people. That's not what I meant. We're doing good for the people that deserve good, and we're taxing the fuck out of the church.
in the name of the Holy Spirit that is Tails.
Tails is Church Patrol. Well, I think that does it for today's episode. God damn it.
That's the alternate
That
title.
can be the sequel. Some games have a different title in Japan. That's what's called.
Tales in the Holy Spirit,
Japanese. Yeah. Tales in the Holy Spirit. Well, I think that's been today's episode of the Sonic Movie Show, a weekly show you can find on a variety of podcast services, such as the one you're on, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, the Amazon apps, wherever those might be. The Audible one's one of them. Follow the show on Twitter at Sonic Movie Show. I, Ethan, am on Twitter at Ethan Absolutely, and Devin is on Twitter at CURSONA Fun. 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 Check out our other show, The Chronicles of Diesel. We're just like Tails here, Dominic Toretto. Next month, we'll be talking about his faith and his family. First of every month, we talk about a new Vin Diesel game or movie or CD album or whatever he's been working on in chronological order. We have a lot of fun with that. We also review video game movies. We just did a Mortal Kombat double jump of Annihilation, which is a close second to last worst movie, or second worst movie we've seen so far. And then Mortal Kombat 2021, which is a pretty good one, we believe, even though, according to the internet, it's terrible for some reason. Because why is this guy we've never seen show up? Exactly. We'll catch you next time for another episode of the Sonic Movie Show. Goodbye.